Hey, what up, guys? It's Monday, so that means it's time for another deck tech. We're still on hiatus for deck tech dudes, but that doesn't mean we can't do a deck tech. So this time I'm bringing you Modern Aristocrats. This deck really hasn't seen much play since like February of 2015. But I think it can see play now that Zulaport Cutthroat has been printed. But okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start with the creatures. So this deck is about sacrificing your own creatures. Sounds kind of weird, but it's really cool. And I'll explain why I think this deck could possibly see a little more play with some of the cards that were printed in Battle for Zendikar, but we'll get to that in a second. So our main key combo pieces are Blood Artist and Cartel Aristocrat. So what Blood Artist says, and you guys should know this if you've been watching my videos, because he was in the Forbidden Artist deck, but whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So you can kind of see where the sacrificing your own creatures comes in. You just want to trigger Blood Artist a lot and drain them a bunch of life. So Cartel Aristocrat is your main outlet, your sacrifice outlet. And he says, or she says, excuse me, sacrifice another creature, Cartel Aristocrat gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. So you can use this for blocking, mainly for blocking, but you can attack in, get that extra 2 damage in when you need it. Very strong, that combination. So you run cards like Doomed Traveler and Tongue Thallid and newly printed Blister Pod. This is one of the strongest cards in Battle for Zendikar, I think, personally. Because when Doomed Traveler was in Standard, it was like in a bunch of decks. And I think Blister Pod is going to be in, because it's objectively a better Doomed Traveler, I guess. So Doomed Traveler says when Doomed Traveler dies, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Blister Pod does the same thing, except it puts an Eldrazi Scion out. So you can, and so the Scion is you can sacrifice that and gain colorless mana. So depending on what you're trying to do, the Blister Pod could be stronger than the Doomed Traveler because you ramp off of it. You get a Scion. And then there is the Tongue, which he just makes a guy, so he's kind of like the lame duck of the 3. That's why there's only 2 of them. And then another card that was printed in Battle for Zendikar is Zulaport Cutthroat. 1 in a black for basically the same thing as Blood Artist, but it's only when creatures you control die. So he's also a little bit worse than Blood Artist, but he is a 1/1, meaning he can attack without being pumped. Blood Artist is a 0/1. Technically can attack, but will do no damage. So then our last creature here, second to last creature is Viscera Seer, known for the Abzan Company combo with Malira and Kitchen Finks for infinite life, or Murderous Redcap for infinite damage. And so what he does is he's another sacrifice outlet. You only scry off of it, so it's not great, but it's very useful. Some lists run Viral, the Scar something. Oh man, I should know this, but he's a 3-drop, and he's kind of a nombo with another card that we're running. So I'll get to that in a second. Last creature is Voice of Resurgence. Super strong. Kind of pricey depending on what your price range is, but this guy, he's another guy that when he dies, he makes a token, but he can very easily be your win condition, because he says whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, or when he dies, you put a green-white elemental creature token onto the battlefield with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. Kind of tripped over my words there. But he can be really strong because people, so if it's your turn and they want to get rid of it and they cast Lightning Bolt to destroy it, you get a creature, you get an elemental, and then he dies and you get another elemental. So he can make a lot of guys. I mean that he's priced reasonably because he's a very, very strong card. Again, this was a tough deck to build, and there's a lot of different ways you can build this. And that's why there's only 3, because I was trying to really squeeze in as a lot of different cards, and it's hard. I haven't play tested this. I've goldfished a little bit, but I'm getting off track. Let's talk about the lands real quick. Just the interesting ones. So there's shock lands and check lands, shock basic, fast lands, and these are fetch lands. But the interesting one I have here is Dryad Arbor, which is the only land creature in existence in all of Magic. But he can be, or she, undetermined, can be really, really, really good for clutch plays, because that gives you a creature to sacrifice in case you need it to do that extra damage or give that protection or scry. Probably not scry. You probably won't give up a land just to scry. But if you need to get in that extra damage or block some extra damage or whatever. And the rest, you can do your lands how you like. This is just kind of what I like, but the Dryad Arbor I think is a nice little niche slip in there. Speaking of slips, you like that? Tragic slip. Now I'm running 4 of these, and you could run 4 of Path to Exiles. Those are also definitely very, very good 1-drop removal in the colors that we're playing. But the reason why I chose Tragic Slip is because the creature will still die, and dying is a very important thing for Blood Artist. and you can most of the time you can trigger Morbid pretty well. And then sorceries, we have Return to the Ranks, which is insane. When goldfishing, this can be just really, 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 really strong. The Convoke is really where it's at, because even if you don't have any creatures in the graveyard, if you have like Blister Pod and let's say a Cartel, Aristocrat, a Doom Traveler, and a Blood Artist, you can tap all of them for 4 mana, sacrifice the Blister Pod, tap its thing for 5 mana, sack that for 6, sacrifice the Blood Artist, and then to give him more protection or whatever you want to do, sacrifice the Doom Traveler, tap that. Did I say Doom Traveler? Regardless, you get the point. You can tap them, sacrifice them, get the guy, the next token that comes in, tap that to the Convoke, and then get all your guys back. So if you have like a Blood Artist out, you just wipe your board, deal a bunch of damage, and then get them all back. And it's like magic. Well, you know what I mean. Abzan Ascendancy. This is crazy, crazy, crazy. This is the reason that you want to play Junk or Abzan. Excuse me. I've seen some lists playing red just for Lightning Bolt, I guess. I'm not really sure. I didn't really look into it, but this is the reason you want to play Abzan, because he makes all your creatures make more creatures when they die. So your Blister Pod won't just give you 1 guy when he dies, he gives you 2 guys. The enter the battlefield effect on the Abzan Ascendancy is good. It can definitely be a game changer, but that's not what you're looking for. You play this, and then you sack all your guys, and then you sack all those guys, and then you return them all, and it's like, oh, craziness. Oh man, I am super, super excited about this deck. I think I'm really gonna try to push this to be in one of our next matchups. If you want to see this in a matchup, be sure to let me know. If you have a deck that you want me to do a deck tech for, or a matchup that you want to see, definitely also let us know. Otherwise, comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you like about Battle of Zendikar, or what you don't like. Zulaport Cutthroat is really definitely one of my favorite cards that have come out of... I mean, I love Blood Artist so much, but man. Well, we'll see you next time, probably with another deck tech on Wednesday with Colin. But yeah, we'll see you there. Thanks for watching, guys.